All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me for Coyote Radio Show and Podcast. Yep, I said it. Spin That Shit is no longer, uh, not because I didn't love the name. It's the exposure end of it. Social media doesn't like that word, and it's in every title I have. So I was getting limited exposure. The algorithm stuff was messing it up. So I went ahead and changed the name. It's called the Coyote Radio Show and Podcast. So the logo is cooler. I think it's way cooler. But so that's what we're going with for now on. And we have an awesome guest today, Ritch Henderson out of Alabama. He's a very soulful, rooted bluesy guy that had a pinch of rock and roll with the Americana country feel all blended together real nicely. He's got a great voice. I think he's a good writer, and I've seen him live a couple times. Super guy. But we were able to do just a quick interview before the show. He was going on at the HIFI, which we'll get into. So it's a short but sweet little episode. We were limited on time, so we just made it work. And it's right in the back alley behind the venue. So you're going to hear motorcycles flying by. You're going to hear people talking or people working on stuff. But that doesn't matter. The content's there. Ritch has a lot to offer. He's got a new album coming out, so we're going to be talking about that stuff. And if you haven't heard of him, definitely check him out. He's on social media, streaming platforms. He's got a bunch of singles already that's been out. He's got a live record that's been out, so you can check all that stuff out online. And wow, let me tell you, live performance-wise, he's up there. He does a really good. I mean, he commands your attention. Even for this particular show, he was up there solo, and everyone in that room just shut up right then and there to hear what this man had to say. And, when you get chilled bumps during songs, certain ones, well, I remember standing there. There's a few songs where I didn't just get them on my arms. I even had them on my legs. So that tells you how much I think of the guy. I think he's great. And the power of music, man, is all about how does it make you feel? And that's my opinion anyway, but he makes me feel something, and I believe in this guy. I've been following him for a long time, and thank you, Ritch, for being on, buddy. I know you're listening somewhere. And other than that, let's I do want to say follow us on all the social media platforms. There is a Patreon page if you want to give us a tip, or if you want to back us. You'll get early releases on the show with no commercial advertising or anything like that. You usually get them about a week early, whether just however it plays out. So plus some other stuff. I've been giving away free tickets to concerts and some other things, some artwork. Who knows where it's going to go? But check out the Patreon if you want to help us out, keep the podcast alive. And remember, it's called the Coyote Radio Show and Podcast for now on. So, all right, let's go talk to Ritch. All right, we're here with Ritch Henderson. We're behind the HIFI here in downtown Indianapolis, Fountain Square. Great art district through here. Been here several times. You're opening up for 49 Winchester tonight.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, I got to know more about this whole recording situation you got going on.
Okay.
Because online you got several singles, a live album. Mm-hmm. When are we going to get the full masterpiece record?
We were looking for dropping the debut record in September timeframe originally, and I got pretty picky with the process. This is my first record, and you only get to do your debut record one time. Mm-hmm. And I don't guess I've been necessarily a stickler, but just getting the mixes where we want them. Myself and the gentleman that's the producer on the record, Brett Robinson, and then Robert Shemp is the engineer who's also mixing. He done some stuff with the Donnas. People tipped out when I don't know who they are, but that's what it is. All his trophy weight comes from. But I think we're probably looking now, if I have my way and everything comes around first of the year.
First of the year.
I don't particularly want to release in December or November and get the rest of that cycle of the year. So I figure hold it in the pocket, release a couple singles off the record, and then release the full record just at the turn of the new year.
Okay.
That's the plan for now. So
how many tracks are going to be on
10 tracks.
10 tracks.
Yep.
Okay. are these songs that you've written over a length of time that you've kind of kept in the pocket, or is this something you wrote like this past year or two?
Yeah, it's really a mixture of both. I set out 7 or 8 years ago with this the idea of the record fallacies and 4-letter words, and I had a group of about 12 songs originally, and some that I felt were like would be cut, type stuff. And then as it was coming, we went into record. We didn't do any pre-production or anything, but I had a batch of songs that I kind of knew I was going to pitch at everybody and see what they thought. And I wrote one in session and ended up with, it's about half and half, 5 songs that I've developed over a couple years, and then 5 brand new songs that they started.
Okay.
So it'll be
nice little surprise there.
Yeah, it'll be good for the folks that have been following around the last 4 or 5 years and catching me out at shows and stuff. Will have some that they can sing along to, and then some that they've never heard that are brand new. I've kind of wanted to keep those newer ones in my pocket so they can have something exciting.
Yeah.
As well.
Nice. Now, as far as like arrangement of songs, I mean, are you gonna have just acoustic stuff, or are you gonna come in with a full band? Like, what's?
Yeah, it's a whole band, full band record. So I cut it down in Alabama Sound Company with Alabama Sound Company.
Motorcycle gang just went by.
Yeah. I cut it in Montgomery and did it with Alabama Sound Company. So got Brett Robinson, who's the producer on it. He plays multiple different instruments, and then I got Alex Lyons playing bass, and Bradford and Jimmy Teardrop. Bradford's a drummer. Jimmy Teardrop plays guitar on it. So it's a full production record. We brought in some horns from some local players down in Montgomery. They're just killer players. I got some soul singers, some harmony.
Yeah.
It's a full production. We cut it all on. I hate to say older gear because we didn't do it because it's old. We done it because it's the best gear. We use a lot of RCA 44As and 77 microphones. There's a tree console and just all the delicious old analog gear you could possibly muster without anybody finding out. I think that's how Brett acquired it all. But
I love all that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm sure people just nerd out and go down the rabbit hole on all that tech stuff.
Well, we know that it'll be lost on some folks that don't know or don't care, and that's fine.
Right.
But for us as artists, like a part of the joy in the creation process is doing what you're into. Like, we didn't set out to do anything particular with this record other than make music that we like. So we made a record that I love to listen to, and that they all love to listen to and are proud to be a part of. So we're not necessarily trying to lean into any trend or worry about what's hot at the moment. We wanted to make something that has got an opportunity to be around for a while that we can be proud of in 15 or 20 years. Instead of having the dreaded first record, like, oh shit, pull that off of Spotify in 5 years or whatever. We want
yeah.
We want something to be really proud of.
You gotta do it right. And you taking your time with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll say about your music and the songs I've heard, and seeing you live here, actually, when you opened up for Arlo.
Yeah.
My first time seeing you. You definitely, I think you just naturally have that soulful sound to your voice, to the music.
Thank you.
Which makes it, I think it elevates it. I love folk music, and everyone knows in folk music you don't have to have a good voice.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice sometimes when you hear a good voice.
Thank you.
So, but
I hated it for a long time.
Yeah.
I think that's a story for a lot of singers, but this was writing songs and then had to kind of, hone the voice enough to get by so you get out and perform the songs. Kind of how that came to be. So having a compliment on the voices, it feels good. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And to me, there's obviously so much different type of music out there and different subgenres and whatnot. But I guess when you get right down to it, if you're just making something and playing something honest and true, that's about as best as you can do. And I feel that from you and your songs.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are tough, sad songs. I like the sad songs.
For sure.
And people can relate to that because they've all been through their own trauma or whatever the hell,
Yeah.
So.
Well, none of us are lucky enough to escape some trial and tribulation here and there. I feel like you don't, as time passes, you look back on the good times, but when you're getting through stuff, you can you can relate to music that is painful and have a cathartic experience with that. And I think it's important as artists to, everybody wants the feel good song, everybody wants to bop all the time, but if you've been through some things and you can speak with a point, speak to a point with some authenticity that's important, you should do that as a writer. If that's not your thing, that's cool, but for me, I try to focus on those things.
Yeah. So what, kind of switching gears here, so what would you say some of the cool things you've experienced out on the road? I know you travel a lot and do a lot of gigs.
Man, little pre-party for Tyler Chiller's Red Rocks show a couple times, Appalachia on the Rocks. The first one was very, very special. Ended up hanging out on the mountaintop with a bunch of my buddies for like 2 weeks in a cabin and shooting skeet off a mountain at night with glow sticks on it. Stuff was cool.
Oh man, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that was rad. We did a show with Alex Williams down in Tennessee at a campground called R&R Campground. Shout out R&R Campground. It was wild. Good time. They put us up in a cabin and we partied on a bridge midnight on the county road. It was dope. That was a good time. That's a tough one because of all of it, man. It's been a wild ride. Yeah, I grew up in northern Alabama without a whole lot, and it's one of those things that when you're younger, you don't think you get to get out and do something like this. You can go work hard and fall into the work that your dad done, or get lucky and earn an education somewhere, and to be pursuing music, even at the level that I'm at, it just kind of feels unreal. I mean, I'm in Indianapolis opening for 49 tonight. We're talking about music that I wrote. That's a cool thing. So yeah, all of it for real.
Very rewarding, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I always kind of wanted that at a younger age and had that dream, but I knew that I sucked. So I had no vocal talent whatsoever.
You were smart enough to give it up. That's the only difference.
Yeah, my parents weren't going, try out for American Idol. They're like, no, you suck. Don't do anything.
So my mom's a gifted vocalist, and my grandmother's a gifted vocalist. She's singing Motown with Noah Strong and the Diablos. And she made it on, I can't remember the name of the record, sorry Granny. It's been kind of in my blood, so when I was younger and I was coming up and stuff, my mom's always been supportive, but she's also been critical in a way to help me try to grow and stuff. I used to have a lot of pitch problems and that sort of thing, so it was one of those things that when I was younger, I continued to suck for a while and I just couldn't stop and kept going until I didn't. Not so bad anyway. It's definitely a relative feeling, but
right. Yeah, you gotta want it. Have a drive. If you got it, you get out doing it. Some guys just hang it up.
Yeah.
Success could happen overnight, or it could be 10 years, like whatever the grind may be.
Yeah, but, and success too is a relative thing. Like you make enough money to pay your bills and do what you love. That's successful in my opinion.
Yeah.
We all
making
want
a living.
Yeah.
And you enjoy and you're able to enjoy what you're doing too. On top of that, some people don't. That's great. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, and we all hope to jam pack the rooms and have screaming fans when we pull up and all that stuff. I feel like everybody's kind of into that. We start out with this thing, you got a little ego about wanting to get to the top or make it or whatever that means. But the more I do it, the more that I've just realized that I can survive where I'm at already, and I'm never doing anything else. I'm not gonna. There's not a point to me that like, oh, if this doesn't work out in 5 years, I'm going to get a day job. Like I'm in this. This is what I do. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do this. Even at this level, I'm just gonna do it.
Like 70 years old.
Yeah. It's a job that I can't imagine myself wanting to retire from,
Yeah.
So, and to be here, I've been, it took a couple years off for COVID, but I've been at this thing for 3 years aside from that, full time, like actually chasing it. So, comparable to some of the homies I know that I've kind of moved a little quicker in the direction that I wanted to go and got to a place that's a little closer to sustainable than folks are usually at in year 3. Coming on 4, so
right.
That's not lost on me, and I'm grateful for that as well. Because if I was starving to death, it'd be a lot harder for me to be like,
yeah,
I'm never doing anything else.
Yeah, that would be for sure. So do we have a name for this album?
Yeah, Fallacies in 4-letter words.
Fallacy in 4-letter words. Okay. Sometime at the beginning of the year, so keep your eyes and ears out. Okay.
Yeah, I want to have it all done and ready. In the next month or 2, and then We got to work on release strategy and game plan, and who's going to be involved in that process and how and what capacities. So we want to take a swing for the thing out of the gate instead of just trying to go at this and self-release, because we did take the time to make a record that we're proud of and that we think it's authentic and unique and something that is worth being heard.
Yeah.
So I want to take a fair stab at it. So I think if I can get it done as quickly as possible and have all my ducks in a row, then I should be able to come out the gate in the first of the year doing what I want to do with it.
That's perfect. Well, we won't take too much more of your time. We're getting close to set time here. Yeah, so you heard it. Watch out. Follow Ritch on all social media, right? Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram. I just started filming with TikTok, so I spend a lot of time laughing my ass off there and not enough time creating content. But sometimes that can be the content I want to create is songs, and social media can be a drag sometimes, but it's necessary.
Yeah, today's world, sure. Do you have a website?
Yeah, richhenderson.com.
Yeah, you heard it.
You get all kinds of goodies there. Find the tour dates, all of it, bands in town, the whole nine.
Yeah. I do want to say one last thing. Thanks everyone for joining, subscribing, and all that. Podcast is definitely on the move. Support's been great, and we have a Patreon page now. So, if you want to tip us, throw us a bone there. That'd be great. So, till then, catch you next time.
Appreciate it.
Check out this show.